I am the malicious female antagonist, and upon my awakening, I find myself desperately pleading with my husband, Shen Zhao, not to abandon me. He rebukes me for my wickedness and pushes me away. In the next moment, realization dawns upon me, and I immediately grasp the hem of his trousers. Rest assured, as long as the money is in place, I guarantee I will never seek you out again. Shen Zhao scoffs. You had better keep your word. I truly followed through, taking the money and reclining in apathy. However, he was not pleased with my decision. 1. Shen Zhao flung the door open and stormed out, leaving me exhaling a sigh of relief as I patted my chest. A sudden torrent of thoughts cascaded through my mind, vividly illuminating the latter half of my life like a revolving lantern. My jealousy and resentment would lead to a dismal fate, rummaging through trash for sustenance, ending up unrecognizable in death. Just the thought of such a life sent shivers down my spine. It was merely a man. If he became unclean, he could be discarded. What value could he hold compared to money? A message from Shen Zhao pinged on my phone. If you dare to trouble Zhang Yuan again, I will divorce you. Scrolling up revealed a cascade of humble pleas and curses born from his indignation. The mere sight of the word divorce struck me like a revelation. Yes, divorce. I promptly contacted a lawyer to draft a divorce agreement and sent it over. If we were to part ways, then part we shall. Otherwise, I would be the fool. Enraged, Shen Zhao ceased to respond. I wasn't anxious. First, I changed the locks. I had checked earlier. And this spacious flat was under my name, living alone. Safety was paramount. Once everything was settled, I buried my head under the covers and fell asleep. Upon waking, I began to pack my belongings. Anything sellable was up for grabs. Even Shen Zhao's ties were not spared. The digits in my bank account grew ever more bountiful, and I immediately called my best friend to invite her out for barbecued meat. She squealed on the other end. Gu Jiwei, have you been possessed? Barbecue. Didn't you say Shen Zhao despises that smell? Who cares? He wasn't coming home anyway. Upon hearing this, my friend's curiosity was piqued, and we quickly gathered together. The aroma of barbecue and sweet drinks left me savoring every bite. The price of 688 was worth it. As I gnawed on a lamb chop, my phone lit up. It was Shen Zhao. Gu Jiwei, don't think I will forgive you just because you're playing hard to get. Thankfully, Zhang Yuan is fine. If you want a divorce, you must leave with nothing. How infuriating. I blocked him. He thought he could withhold money from me? I swiftly changed my social media account name. As long as I live, you shall forever be my inferiors. I didn't believe that Zhang Yuan could remain silent. My friend gave me a thumbs up. You're so brave. Aren't you afraid of his retaliation? It didn't matter. I had money. I showed her my balance, and she excitedly squeezed my arm. Why didn't you say so earlier? Let us hit the bar tonight. Shen Zhao was already 28. Where would we find a compliant model with a decent physique? The key was stamina, if you understand. The sweet drink had no alcohol. Yet I still felt a bit tipsy. We clicked instantly, and after dinner, we headed straight to the bar, reveling in the experience. When I returned home, I kicked off my shoes and collapsed onto the sofa, only to be yanked up by a sudden force. Gu Jiwei, look at yourself. How dare you block me? Struggling to open my eyes, I gazed at the intruder, instantly jolted awake. How did you get in? This is my home. You've trespassed. I forcefully pushed him away, grabbing a shoe to shield my chest. Dressed in a short skirt, high heels, and heavy makeup, I had transformed from my usual demure appearance into someone undeniably alluring. Shen Zhao's face darkened. Do you wish to divorce me that badly? If not, then pay up. I'm easily satisfied. I had majored in acting during university. Whatever role he wanted me to play, I would comply. He gritted his teeth. Very well. I knew you had ulterior motives. Zhang Yuan was right. You just want to grab my attention. I stood momentarily stunned, then turned to open the door. When you leave, remember to pay. Otherwise, I'll expose a photo of you each day. His fury was palpable as I waved my phone, and ultimately, he transferred the money, an amount I was quite pleased with. Naturally, I could no longer stay in this house, lest his lingering spirit haunt me. 2. I swiftly navigated through WeChat on my phone, locating an agent to find me an apartment, one that was move-in ready. Living alone in a spacious flat felt somewhat empty. A cozy little home would be delightful. The agent was efficient, promptly presenting me with a suitable apartment, 50 square meters, equipped with ample storage to accommodate all my needs. Previously, I had conformed to his preferences, living on bland meals. Now, it was a different story. Spicy and bold were the orders of the day, as I was certainly capable of donning whatever I desired. With my figure, I could wear a different spaghetti strap dress each day, having even dyed my hair pink. Anyone who laid eyes on me would perceive youthfulness and vitality. After indulging in self-pleasure with my newfound wealth, I realized just how bitter my previous existence had been. Out of concern for Shen Zhao's poor digestion, I had constantly acquiesced to his dietary restrictions, subsisting on bland dishes that had dulled my palate. But now, it was a different tale. I relished spicy Sichuan rabbit heads, hot pot, crayfish, barbecue, and sweet drinks. For an entire week, I frequented various popular eateries and hidden gems. The snack cabinet in my apartment overflowed with treats, and I even adopted a cat, delighting in its lazy stretches and playful rolls in the sunlight. Feeling like the happiest person in the world. How had the former Gu Jiwei been so competitive? This life was far superior. Xin Zhao had not bothered me at all, and I relished the tranquility, yet I hadn't anticipated our encounter would come so soon. It was an accidental meeting, as I had joined my friends for a spa day. To my surprise, while soaking in the hot spring, I spotted Jiang Yuan and Shen Zhao. Upon seeing me, Shen Zhao appeared somewhat taken aback. I was clad in a daring swimsuit, sporting a pink bun, seated in the hot spring while nonchalantly sucking on a lollipop, occasionally whistling at passing beauties, an unabashed rogue. Shen Zhao studied me with a mix of surprise. Jiang Yuan stood beside him in a bikini, both strikingly matched. I merely smiled at him, saying nothing, while Shen Zhao seemed a bit uneasy, yet he descended into the hot spring and settled not far from me. With Jiang Yuan at his side, the scene caused my friend beside me to scowl. Are they out of their minds? Coming here to flaunt in front of you? When did your temper become so placid? I couldn't help but chuckle. So long as the money was right, I could afford to be unruffled. I spoke at just the right volume for them to hear. Jiang Yuan nudged Shen Zhao's arm. Ah Zhao, let us go over there. I watched him with a smirk, saying nothing. Shen Zhao, maintaining his composure, rose and returned to me. Gu Jiwei, you've changed. His statement felt abrupt. I tilted my head to meet his gaze, nodding in the light, acknowledging that people do change, including him. I glanced in Jiang Yuan's direction. Go on, she's waiting for you. After saying this, I turned away, leading my friend to another hot spring to indulge, while Shen Zhao's gaze remained fixed on me. I didn't look back. I knew he was observing, curious, analyzing. But I wouldn't turn back again. My friend gave me a thumbs up. You've really changed. When did your composure become so refined? Are you plotting something big? Are you really willing to let that mistress go? Look at how revealing she is, practically glued to Shen Zhao. 3. I rolled my eyes. Must one wear a parka to the hot spring? Please be reasonable. I'm the legitimate wife, and I haven't complained. If Shen Zhao likes it, let him enjoy. He sends me money every month. I showed her Shen Zhao's transaction record, and my friend lamented. Why haven't I encountered a husband who just gives money and never returns? You lucky girl. I chuckled, carefree, indulging in our escapades. After the hot spring, I spotted Shen Zhao in the parking lot. He was in his luxury car, calling out to me, Gu Jiwei, there's a charity gala tomorrow. Remember to dye your hair back. Just as I was about to refuse, my foot pressed the accelerator, and I sped away, cursing him inwardly. Yet, I decided to go anyway. I had already given up, so I couldn't care less what others thought of me. The following day, I donned a simple white dress, an unassuming choice, yet devoid of any extravagance. My intention was merely to take a leisurely stroll, presenting myself as Mrs. Shen once more. As I entered with my vibrant pink hair, astonishment rippled through the crowd. Whispers and pointed fingers surrounded me, some expressing admiration for my audacity. Unfazed, I made a beeline for Mrs. Zhao, the event's host. Upon seeing me, her surprise was palpable. What is this? She inquired. A change of color, a change of mood. Mrs. Zhao, long time no see. I presented her with a carefully prepared gift and greeted the other affluent ladies present. Today's auction items are entrusted to you, Mrs. Zhao. Shall we not linger? Mr. Shen is still around. At her words, I couldn't help but smile. He was in the company of others, and I was merely here to make an appearance. Mr. Shen's demeanor shifted from sunny to stormy, while Jiang Yuan, by his side, seemed to offer him some consolation. He strode up to me, grasping my wrist and leading me aside. Gu Jiwei, you did this on purpose. I warned you yesterday. Indeed, but I never agreed to anything. If you want me to work, that comes at a different price. His fury was evident at my retort, and Mrs. Xiao, perceptive as always, sensed the tension between us. She chuckled lightly. It seems there's a misunderstanding between Mr. Shen and Ms. Gu. Notably, she didn't refer to me as Mrs. Shen, likely having heard rumors of my desire for divorce. Today, Mr. Shen brazenly brought Jiang Yuan along. His intentions were unmistakable. Hearing her address him as Mr. Shen, he froze momentarily. I shook off his grip and returned to Mrs. Xiao. Inside this box are the items I am donating for today as auction. Thank you for facilitating, Mrs. Xiao. Upon opening the box, she gasped at the sight of the diamond ring nestled within. Isn't this the one Mr. Shen gave you? It was touching that she remembered. It was the ring he had gifted me upon our marriage, a treasure I had cherished. Parting with it today was a charitable act, though I felt reluctant. What connection did charity have with me? Yet, I rationalized it as a means of accumulating virtue. Furthermore, I wished to sever ties with Mr. Shen's possessions. Thus I decided to auction the ring. To my astonishment, Mr. Shen was visibly distressed. How dare you? How could you put that ring up for auction? Do you understand what it signifies? He clung to my hand tightly, and I forcefully wrenched it away. Mr. Shen, are you reluctant to part with me? Alas, I find you quite unappealing. Mr. Shen inhaled deeply, then composed himself. Do as you wish. If it pleases you, then so be it. Mrs. Xiao, catching on to the underlying tension, noted. In that case, I shall proceed with the registration. Very well, please register under Gu Jiwei. After bidding farewell to Mrs. Xiao, I intended to leave shortly. Mr. Shen watched my retreating figure, his fists clenched. The ring, as Mrs. Xiao informed me, fetched a sum of 1.2 million. I felt a twinge of regret. 1.2 million, how many spicy rabbit heads could that buy? Nevertheless, I resolved not to look back. Sending a clear message, I genuinely cared little for Mr. Shen. Our future encounters would revolve solely around financial matters or divorce, nothing more. My actions, however, incited Mr. Shen's ire. Mere days following the charity gala, my parents called, informing me that Mr. Shen had withdrawn his investment from their ventures. My mother sighed over the phone. I knew you two wouldn't last, but I didn't expect it to happen so swiftly. Perhaps it's for the best. You never belonged together. Just come home. Dear. I can't return, Mother. I owe the family nothing now. You sold me once. Don't expect a second sale. With Mr. Shen's withdrawal of funds, the company would likely face numerous challenges, and I had no intention of returning. Let my good son assist you with whatever arises. My mother, exasperated, was about to chastise me when I hung up and blocked her number. At this point, my focus was singular, to indulge in life's pleasures, to eat, drink, and revel in joy. My family background was not insignificant. The Gu family was among the elite in the city. Yet, ever since my younger brother's arrival, my status as the cherished daughter had diminished drastically. It was only at the age of 18, when they sent me to a gala to entertain an elderly gentleman, that I realized the cost of being pampered for so many years. That night, I escaped to an unfamiliar room, fortuitously encountering Mr. Shen. Clinging to him, I managed to evade my parents' schemes. Initially, he showed concern for me, a mere girl caught in my family's machinations. He even drove me home and warned my parents. In that moment, he etched an indelible mark upon my heart. I developed feelings for him, desiring to collect every fragment of his life. Discovering he had a first love shattered me. Subsequently, I resorted to every means to be with him, ultimately forcing his hand into marriage. Yet, as I witnessed his rekindled romance with Jiang Yuan, my mind erupted in chaos. I questioned whether this was the true me. Regardless, I no longer wished to live this way. My parents attempted to reach out repeatedly, but I had blocked them. The Gu family's bankruptcy held little sway over me. My primary concern was my own fate. The thought of scavenging for food or dying on the streets filled me with dread. My family's circumstances were irrelevant. I could not afford to be without money. They tried to contact me several times, even attempting to find me, but I rebuffed them. Eventually, they approached Mr. Shen, causing quite a stir, which was even caught by the paparazzi. In that moment, I realized my peaceful existence was over. when he appeared at my apartment door. I was neither surprised nor disheveled. My pink hair stood in stark contrast to my casual tank top and shorts. Chewing on an apple, I tilted my head at him. "What brings you here?" He produced a divorce agreement, stating, "This isn't a request for divorce. Sign it, and we'll both be liberated." I was taken aback. "What about compensation?" He gestured for me to examine it myself. Flipping to the compensation page, I counted the string of zeros and, without hesitation, signed and stamped my mark. Lifting my gaze, I reminded him, "Just ensure the payment is made. Farewell." I handed him the agreement and closed the door, resuming my apple. "Mr. Shin seemed taken aback by my swift decisiveness, lingering at the door for quite some time before departing. A sense of liberation washed over me. Once the divorce was finalized, I would reclaim my freedom. At this juncture, Mr. Shin publicly announced his relationship with Jiang Yuan. They attended various events together, even family gatherings, without a hint of subtlety. I remained indifferent, though Mrs. Xiao expressed concern, calling to inquire about my well-being. Upon learning of our divorce, she lamented, "I always thought Mr. Shin would come around. But I suppose it wasn't he meant to be." "Nevertheless, Jiwei, good men are scarce. You're still young, so seize the opportunity when it arises." "Thank you for your concern, I shall." After hanging up, I boarded a plane for a trip abroad. I set a year-long goal for myself, to savor cuisine from around the globe. It is no exaggeration to say I aspired to make a name for myself in the culinary world. As I traveled, I dined and documented my adventures through a travel vlog, unexpectedly gaining a significant following. I sampled Michelin-starred restaurants across various locales, bringing my little cat along for the journey. Along the way, I encountered both challenges and delights. Most people I met were kind-hearted. My cat even became an internet sensation, with many followers commenting that their lives were less fulfilling than that of a cat. Interacting with them revealed the peculiar beauty of life. Returning from Hokkaido, I made my way to Shanghai, where my best friend greeted me with a warm embrace. "You're in for a treat. A new upscale restaurant has opened, boasting exquisite flavors. Their caviar and wagyu beef are air-freighted, and the taste is divine. This feast is specially arranged to welcome you back. Let us go." Upon my arrival, as I settled into my seat, I spotted two familiar figures diagonally across from me, Shun Zhao and Jiang Yuan. It had been a year since we last saw each other. Shun Zhao remained unchanged, while Jiang Yuan appeared visibly emaciated, her eyes devoid of their former brilliance, now brimming with resentment. My close friend shot me a knowing glance, indicating that they had not tied the knot. Jiang Yuan had pressured Shin Zhao into marriage 3 times, yet he still refused. I wondered if he had any regrets. "Do you think he might stage a dramatic reconciliation?" I shrugged, suggesting that perhaps he should watch fewer melodramas. Such things were unlikely. Nevertheless, it was true that Shin Zhao was quite generous, having given me a substantial sum, the interest of which continues to fund my travels. Not to mention, my account also attracts advertising opportunities, rendering my life exceedingly pleasant. Perhaps due to my modest fame, the restaurant manager recognized me and expressed his delight. "You are NINI's mother, the pet travel blogger, aren't you?" I awkwardly nodded, acknowledging my identity. "Welcome. Today, we are pleased to present you with one of our signature dishes. Please enjoy it at your leisure." After thanking the manager, I caught Jiang Yuan's gaze, which had reddened with emotion. Suddenly, she grasped Shin Zhao's hand, exclaiming, "Are you still thinking of her, Zhao? What am I to you?" Shin Zhao remained composed, responding, "Isn't it better this way? Why must you compare yourself to her? You are you. I am already divorced, as you wished. One cannot be overly greedy." As he uttered these words, I was savoring a delectable beef rib, which was indeed excellent, so much so that I couldn't help but give a thumbs up, exclaiming, "You are absolutely right. I could eat this forever. Am I being too greedy?" Upon hearing this, Jiang Yuan erupted, "Gu Jiwei, are you doing this on purpose? You feel triumphant, don't you?" I was taken aback, looking up at her, ribs still in hand, finally processing her words. "Is it inappropriate to critique the dish? Aren't you being overly sensitive?" I shot back. "Shun Zhao, control your companion. This is a public place. Must you behave so recklessly?" Shun Zhao quietly turned away, taking a deep breath and apologizing. He then took Jiang Yuan aside to discuss matters privately. Jiang Yuan resisted, asking, "Why should we step outside? You've already divorced her. And after a year, You still refuse to marry me. Are you still thinking of her? What do I mean to you? This treatment is too cruel. Tears streamed down her face. In the past, Shun Zhao would have comforted her, wrapping her in his arms and demanding that I apologize. Yet now, in just a year, he seemed to have grown impatient. Enough. Stop making a scene. So many people are watching. She stumbled back, incredulous at his words. You truly said that? I couldn't help but chuckle. You two are interrupting our meal. Indeed, it was just a meal, yet we were subjected to her incessant complaints. Could you kindly take this outside? Jiang Yuan's face flushed, while Shun Zhao rose to settle the bill and headed out, with Jiang Yuan following closely, clutching his sleeve. Ultimately, Shun Zhao's patience waned, and he declared at the door, if you wish to continue this uproar, do so without me. Our relationship ends here. Marrying into the Shun family is simply out of the question. At these words, Jiang Yuan crumbled, crying out her questions. The spectacle of their argument did not go unnoticed by onlookers, who could only sigh in sympathy. I shook my head and returned to my meal. The restaurant was commendable, the meat delightful, though the desserts fell short of expectations. Nevertheless, everything else was quite satisfactory, and I rated it 4.5 stars. Upon uploading the video, it immediately sparked a lively discussion among netizens. Sister S back. Which restaurant is this? It seems to be the newly opened upscale place in our city called Encounter. Exactly. I commented below, and my followers erupted in excitement. Oh my goodness, the blogger replied to me. I must try it soon. What is the average cost? An average of 3,800. While interacting with my fans, I remained oblivious to the two outside until my friend mentioned, Shun Zhao's gaze has been fixed on you. I dismissed it. Darling, wouldn't he genuinely want to pursue a dramatic reconciliation? Would he? I shook my head, asserting, no, Shun Zhao is not that sort of person. I know him well. He was adamant about letting go, and he did so willingly. His consent to divorce stemmed from his desire to avoid being a burden to my family. Shun Zhao was quite rational. The sole instance of irrationality was directed towards Jiang Yuan, resulting in this predicament. I could clearly see the substantial issues between them. One was a businessman, prioritizing profit, while the other was a woman reliant on a man. Losing Shun Zhao meant losing everything for her. The chasm between them had widened, yet this did not serve as a reason for him to return. I was certain of that. After dining, I strolled through shops and was surprised to find Shun Zhao still there. Spotting me, he asked in a low voice, "Care for a drink?" My friend promptly excused herself, retreating to the side. You two chat. I'll take my leave. She winked at me, and I felt a sense of reluctance as I accompanied Shun Zhao to a nearby cafe. As soon as we sat down, he remarked, I didn't expect you to recover from your gloom so swiftly. You seem to be doing rather well. Thanks to you, I received a good amount of money, allowing me to focus on what I love without distraction. You enjoy traveling? Indeed, and I also have a fondness for food. The restaurant was quite good. You should try it one day. Upon hearing this, Shun Zhao took a deep breath. I hadn't realized you had become so carefree. Being unconcerned allows for such freedom. My words rendered him momentarily silent. After finishing our coffee, I stood to leave. Shun Zhao, farewell. Just as I was about to depart, he called out, retrieving a ring from his pocket and offering it to me. I was taken aback. The ring was from the charity auction I had asked Mrs. Zhao to assist me with. How did it end up in his possession? Observing my surprise, Shun Zhao explained I purchased it. Unlike a wedding ring, this one was bought with my own hands to adorn your finger. I return it now as a keepsake. No, that's unnecessary. We have ended things. Since it's over, it should be thoroughly severed. It would be unfair to both of us otherwise. I turned and walked away, leaving him to watch my retreating figure. When my friend caught up with me, she remarked, Shun Zhao is becoming quite the lovesick fool. In my opinion, he still harbors feelings for you. Why not consider reconciling? Absolutely not, I flatly rejected. Throughout our marriage, it was a struggle to argue with him and beg him to stay. I no longer wish to have any connection with him. So you despise him that much? Not hatred, but sheer exhaustion. I no longer wish to entangle myself. Look at my current freedom. I can travel whenever I please, sleep in as long as I desire, and I don't have to deal with the complications of his family. When I married him, Shen Zhao's mother frequently compelled me to adhere to their rules, and he would flit between Jiang Yuan and myself, leaving me utterly overwhelmed. I refused to be ensnared in such a situation again. My home is my sanctuary, entirely mine, a small haven where I reside alone, and isn't that delightful? Just like that meal earlier, it's no exaggeration, Shen Zhao has never dined with me. A man like him wouldn't return out of love, but rather for personal gain. Indeed, I have long since resolved to let go of my lingering affections for Shen Zhao. After all, life is precious. I refuse to meet a tragic end on the streets. Upon returning home, I didn't dwell on these thoughts. I unpacked my luggage, retrieving the souvenirs I had purchased abroad, including numerous fridge magnets. I spent quite some time decorating my refrigerator, even capturing a photo to share, which garnered enthusiastic praise from my followers. Truly, I am content now. My life feels remarkably fulfilling. As for the days ahead, I shall address them when I tire of my adventures. I released Nini and returned to the home I had long been estranged from. I had arranged for the cleaners to prepare it beforehand, and Nini eagerly sniffed around while I observed. The peace was truly delightful. However, this tranquility was soon shattered by a shrill ringtone from an unfamiliar number. Upon answering, Jiang Yuan's voice pierced through. Gu Jiwei, why have you returned? If you chose to leave, you should never come back. What compels you to appear before him today? Do you even realize? Enough. I interrupted her immediately. I have nothing to do with him. She screamed in response. If that is the case, why were you both seen having coffee together? Don't think I'm oblivious. You've been thinking about him all along. When you divorced, you seemed so eager. Turns out you were just playing hard to get. Gu Jiwei, you're truly repulsive. I couldn't help but feel anger rise within me. Repulsive? When I divorced, I didn't expose you for being the mistress. That was already a considerable act of mercy. As his legitimate wife, I've been driven to distant lands by you for a year, and yet you've failed to claim your position. Clearly, you're not as remarkable as you think. Perhaps I should seriously consider remarrying Shen Zhao. You dare, she retorted. You're already harassing and warning me. What is there left to fear? I declared. Listen well, Jiang Yuan. If you continue to harass me, I will expose everything you've done before. You can forget about marrying into the Shen family. Even Shen Zhao will no longer treat you kindly. I hung up and blocked her, sending the call records to Shen Zhao, knowing he had been monitoring my account. When I messaged him, he quickly replied, I will handle it. I hoped he would indeed take action. Otherwise, I could unleash my fury without hesitation. After that, Jiang Yuan ceased her attempts to contact me. Yet, within a mere month, Shen Zhao broke up with Jiang Yuan. Reporters captured them in a heated argument on the street, where Shen Zhao handed Jiang Yuan a check. She collapsed on the ground, sobbing uncontrollably. Everyone claimed my return had prompted Shen Zhao to regain his senses and seek reconciliation with me. Upon seeing this, I couldn't help but feel exasperated. None of this should involve me. Jiang Yuan truly vanished from my life. It was rather poignant. After such a lengthy entanglement, she failed to secure her position and instead faced a breakup. She had once been his beloved. Following their split, Shen Zhao's mother arranged a new blind date for him. While Shen Zhao was on this date with a wealthy young lady, Jiang Yuan was outside, weeping with resentment. This caused Shen Zhao to look visibly distressed, while the young lady, unperturbed, ordered her bodyguards to drag Jiang Yuan away and teach her a lesson. I learned of this incident only later. Surprisingly, Shen Zhao didn't discipline the young lady, but rather issued an unprecedented warning to Jiang Yuan, advising her to cease her harassment. When I came across these gossip reports, I couldn't help but laugh. Once upon a time, Shen Zhao had issued similar warnings to me, forbidding me from confronting Jiang Yuan, or else he would not spare me. Now, he remained silent while she was being reprimanded. Ah, how swiftly love can shift and dissipate. Suddenly, I found myself laughing at my own foolishness, having squandered years on such a person. It was utterly ridiculous. Reflecting on it now, I realize how naive I was, but thankfully I have moved on. Yet, Jiang Yuan remained relentless, even reaching out to me again, using a different number. Gu Jiwei, can we meet? I initially intended to decline, but she did not relent, so I acquiesced. Our meeting spot was a quaint dessert shop, one of my favorites. Indulging in something sweet can uplift one's spirits, so I ordered her a mousse cake. Upon seeing the cake, Jiang Yuan couldn't help but smile bitterly. You once ordered me a cake too, a mango one. I had an allergic reaction. And Shun Zhao was furious, demanding you apologize or he would divorce you. Back then, you stubbornly refused to apologize, even shouting at me. How did he become so different? I recalled that moment vividly. It was when I had my awakening and chose to distance myself. People change, Jiang Yuan. Your relationship with Shun Zhao is rooted in past affections. But how long can those sentiments truly last? I don't understand your purpose in seeking me today, but I advise you to let go. It's all in the past now. If he intends to marry you, he would forsake everything to be by your side. But what about now? Jiang Yuan, in a fit of anger, retorted, but I refuse to accept this. I was with him the longest. He once professed his love and vowed to give me the best. Yet now he simply discards me. Am I so worthless that he can just toss me aside after his amusement? I confronted her bluntly. To put it harshly, you approached him with ulterior motives. You had your designs from the start. So don't blame him for abandoning you, right? At my words, she fell silent, contemplating my statement before finally admitting, yes, I was the one who pursued him. Then you can't hold him accountable. Men are often like this. Jiang Yuan responded indignantly. You speak so eloquently. You possess everything. Naturally, you can say these things lightly. I have nothing, no status, no love. It's all gone. I regarded her and pulled up my own account. I was once Miss Gu. I had everything, but I sacrificed it all to escape that life. If I had continued as Mrs. Shen, I would have gained even more, but that would have drained me. I had to plead with him, begging for a fraction of his affection. I was his wife, yet I lived in such humility. You, on the other hand, received a severance package, did you not? Hearing my words, she began to weep. Look ahead, Jiang Yuan. This may be our final meeting. I hope you won't seek me out again, but rather carve your own path. There was one thing I refrained from saying. I had no obligation to be her sounding board or to untangle her emotions. I am not a therapist. I stood up to leave, and Jiang Yuan sat silently, saying nothing. When Shun Zhao remarried, I received an invitation but merely asked a friend to send a gift. I did not attend. Regardless of the circumstances, I would no longer have any connection with him. Yet Jiang Yuan commented under my social media post, "He is married. Are you content with that?" I blocked her. Only a confused woman would cling to the past. I had long since moved forward. Jiang Yuan was trapped in her own vicious cycle, torturing herself. I never saw her again, only hearing that she had relocated. A year after Shen Zhao's marriage, he divorced again, subsequently surrounded by a string of women. Meanwhile, I had become a renowned influencer, traveling extensively both domestically and internationally. At the age of 30, I decided to settle down for good, returning to the city, dining with a close friend, and then embarking on blind dates, ultimately marrying. On the day of the wedding, my friend observed, "That car looks familiar. It's been following your wedding procession." Spotting a luxurious vehicle across the street, I instantly recognized it as Shun Zhao's. At that moment, our eyes met, and he had someone deliver a box to me. Upon opening it, I found the very diamond ring he had gifted me years ago. My friend's eyes widened in disbelief. "Isn't that your wedding ring? It cost over $1 million. It seems he is still pining for you. Is he attempting to steal you back?" I playfully tapped her forehead. "You've read too many novels. A ring worth over $1 million? I could dismiss it as easily as I wish. Now, with Shun Zhao's fortune in the billions, I have no desire for him. This man and I are fated to remain apart." With that, I closed the box and tucked it away in the deepest recesses of my drawer, arranging my attire before stepping outside. Our marriage was a modest affair, inviting only close friends and family for a meal. Both my husband and I were in our second marriages, seeking merely to enjoy our lives together. The moment I saw Shun Zhao, my husband instinctively stepped in front of me, asking, "Is there something you need, ex-husband?" Shun Zhao approached, nodding upon seeing me. "Gu Jiwei, you've remarried. I never anticipated that you would relinquish everything, including me. I had always doubted your ability to truly let go, yet here I stand, filled with regret." I linked my arm with my husband's, addressing him, "Shun Zhao, one must look forward. The marriage of the past few years has consumed far too much of my energy. I refuse to chase after you daily like a shrew. Life presents numerous temptations, yet one can only harbor feelings for a single person in their heart. I have let him go, but I cannot release you. Shun Zhao nodded in response. You are right. I wish you happiness. With that, he gave me a parting nod and departed. From that moment on, our paths diverged, and I would occasionally glimpse Shun Zhao in the news, witnessing his flourishing business and his rise as an eminent entrepreneur. Meanwhile, I welcomed a daughter into the world following my marriage. On the day my child turned 1 month old, I received a gift from Shun Zhao, a meticulously crafted crown, symbolizing his desire for me to embrace my role as my own queen, alongside my child. I accepted it, placing it deep within the recesses of my cabinet. Thus, Shun Zhao and I would no longer intersect in life. My existence was irrevocably transformed. I would not meet a tragic end in the streets, escaping the fate of a cruel supporting character. In my world, I am the heroine of my own story. The end. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to our next tale.